Math Minute 53. Number 1 says, Jason drove for 3 hours at an average speed of 55 miles per hour. How far did he go? So the key phrase here is how far. And how far means that they're asking for distance. And in math, when you're calculating the distance, you are multiplying the speed times how long you're traveling. So now I need to pick out the information from the problem that I need. So the speed would be 55. And we're going to multiply that by the amount of time we were traveling. And then in the problem it said 3 hours. So we're going to do 55 times 3. And if I punch that into my calculator, I would get 165. And the last thing is what unit of measurement are they talking about? In this case, it was miles. So we traveled 165 miles. So the key thing to take away from this problem is when they say how far, they're asking for distance. And the way you find distance is you take the speed and you multiply it by the time. Number 2, the interior angles of a triangle add up to how many degrees? So a triangle, I'll draw a triangle here, is made up of 3 interior angles. Interior means inside. So 1, 2, 3. So triangles are made up of 3 interior angles. And if I added those up, if I added angle 1 and angle 2 and angle 3, every time I do that, I'm going to get 180. So the interior angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Number 3 says circle all the following that are equal to 3 over 10. 0.3, 3%, 6 over 10, and then that last diagram shows 3 out of 5 boxes shaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert everything into decimals because that is the easiest way to compare it. So the first thing I have to do is change my 3 over 10 to a decimal. So to change a fraction to a decimal, we divide. So 3 divided by 10. If I punch that in the calculator, I'd get 0.3. So right away I know that this one is equal to that because I just got 0.3. Now the next thing I would do is figure out, well, what's 3% as a decimal? So to get 3% as a decimal, I'd have to take 3 divided by 100 because percentages are always out of 100. If I did that in the calculator, 3 divided by 100 would be 0.03. So that would not be equal to 3 over 10 because that was 0.3. So we're going to cross that out. Next I would do 6 over 10. Change that to a decimal, I would do 6 divided by 10. If I punch that into the calculator, I'd get 0.6, which is not equal to 0.3, so I'm going to cross that one out. And the last one would be 3 out of 5, because we got 3 boxes shaded here out of 5 total boxes. And if I did 3 divided by 5 in my calculator, I'd also get 0.6, which is not equal to 3 over 10 is 0.3. We cross that out. So the only one that was equal to that was the 0.3 that I circled. Number 4, we have the square root of 4 times 9. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 4 times 9. So I need to do what's inside the square root sign first. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 9, then I'm going to take the square root of that. So 4 times 9 is 36. So this becomes the square root of 36. And so all that means is that some number times itself is going to equal 36. Well, the only number I could put in here, put in these boxes, that's the same number to give me 36 would be 6. Because 6 times 6 is 36. So again, the square root of 4 times 9 would be 6. Number 5, fill in the missing numbers. So we have to find the pattern of what's going on. So on top, I go from 3 to 6 to 12. So my pattern here is that I'm multiplying by 2. And then on the bottom, when I go from 3 to 9 to 27 to 81, I'm multiplying by 3. But they want me to figure out the next number on the top pattern, which is multiplying by 2. So now I would just do 12 times 2. And if I punch that into my calculator, I'd get 24. I can go ahead and put that in that missing square. Number 6, we have 2 times a number is 14. What is the number? So I got to figure out what the number is. And in math, when we don't know what the number is, we assign it a variable or a letter. In this case, since they're asking for a number, I'm just going to assign it the letter of n. So it says it wants 2 times a number, which I just said I'm going to say is n, is equal to 14. So 2n means multiplication. So to figure out my missing number, or n, I have to do the opposite of what it's showing. So right now, if it's showing multiplication, I'm going to do the opposite of that, which is division. So now on the left side, I'm just left with my variable. And then the right side, I'm going to do 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So my missing number is 7. Because 2 times 7 would give me 14. Number 7, if the pattern continues, should the last box be shaded or clear? Well, let's just go through it. So we start with a shaded one, and then we have a clear one. And then we got a shaded one. And then we got 2 clear ones. Shaded one, 1 clear one. Shaded one, 2 clear ones. So if I just follow the pattern, the next one has to be shaded. And so the question asked me, was the next one going to be shaded or clear? Well, if I just follow the pattern, the next one should have been shaded. Number 8, Alan has $3.05. Fill in the remaining box to show how many dimes he has. All right, so let's figure out how much money we have right now. So I have 8 quarters, and a quarter is worth 25 cents. So 8 times 0.25. If I did that on my calculator, I'd get 2. And then we have 1 nickel, and a nickel is worth 5 cents. So it's going to equal 0.05. So if I add those together, 2 and 0.05, I would get $2.05. Well, it says he has $3.05, so that means I need another dollar. So they're basically asking me how many dimes would be in $1. Well, a dime's worth 10 cents. So if I did $1 divided by how much a dime is worth, which is 0.10, if I did that in a calculator, I'd get 10. So that means that Alan had 10 dimes, because 10 dimes would be worth $1. And if I added that all up, I would get $3.05. All right, number 9, we're dealing with two-digit subtraction where we have to borrow. So the first one, 67 minus 28. I can't subtract 8 from 7, so I need to borrow from the 6. So I'm going to make that a 5. That makes the 7 17. So now I just go ahead and subtract 17 minus 8 would be 9. 5 minus 2 would be 3. So my answer would be 39. The next one I have 92 minus 45. Again, I can't take 5 away from 2, so I have to borrow from the 9, make that an 8, which is going to make the 2 a 12. Now I just go ahead and subtract. 12 minus 5 is 7. 8 minus 4 is 4. So that would be 47. Now the last one, 101 minus 33. I can't take 3 from 1. I can't borrow from 0, so I got to go all the way over to this one. I'm going to borrow from there, which would make this a 10. But then I had to borrow from this one to make my 1 an 11. So I'm going to cross that out, make that a 9, which makes the 1 11. Now I can go ahead and subtract. I got 11 minus 3, which is 8. I got 9 minus 3, which is 6. So 101 minus 33 would be 68. And then number 10, when we have numbers inside the parentheses like this, that means multiplication. So this means 3 times 4 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 3 would be 36. And then the next one, this would mean 2 times 5 times 3. I'll go ahead and write that out. 2 times 5 would be 10. 10 times 3 would be 30. All right, so go ahead and turn that into the folder.